Before you can invest in the world, before you can build a business, chase your dreams, or inspire others, you must first learn to invest in yourself. Everything begins there. Because no matter how much you want from life, you can only rise to the level of your own growth. 1. The real meaning of investing in yourself. Most people hear the phrase, invest in yourself, and immediately think of money. Courses, coaching, books, or education. And while all of those can be part of it, the real investment runs much deeper. Investing in yourself means making a decision, a promise, that your personal growth will never stop. It means understanding that you are your greatest asset, your greatest project, and your most valuable investment. You are not a fixed being. You are a work in progress. And every day you either add value to yourself, or you slowly lose it. So, what does self-investment look like? It's not just reading books or going to the gym. It's the decision to stay disciplined when no one is watching. It's learning when your mind wants comfort. It's sitting with your pain instead of running from it, and choosing to grow through it. Investing in yourself is the art of becoming more valuable to the world by becoming more powerful within yourself. 2. The mindset shift. Most people wait for motivation before they move. They wait to feel ready. But those who truly invest in themselves know something different. They don't wait for readiness. They create momentum. They move first. And the feeling follows. You see, success doesn't come from waiting for the right time. It comes from building the right habits, the small daily actions that silently transform you over time. If you truly want to invest in yourself, you must develop a mindset of growth. This means letting go of excuses like, I don't have time. I'm not talented enough. Maybe someday. If you can scroll on your phone for an hour, you can learn something for an hour. If you can talk about your problems, you can study your solutions. If you can dream, you can begin. Self-investment starts with ownership, taking full responsibility for where you are and where you want to go. Because the truth is harsh but liberating. No one is coming to save you. You must save yourself. 3. The value of time and focus. The first currency of self-investment is not money, it's time. Time is the raw material of your future. Every second you spend carelessly is like spending money you'll never get back. Most people say they don't have time, but what they really lack is focus. They spend hours reacting instead of creating, scrolling instead of studying, complaining instead of changing. If you want to transform your life, start treating your time as sacred. Wake up earlier. Spend 1 hour a day working on your mind, your craft, or your body. That single hour, done consistently, will separate you from 99% of people in the next 5 years. Remember this. What you do daily is more powerful than what you do occasionally. Consistency is the most underrated investment strategy of all. 4. The inner resistance. Every time you try to grow, resistance will show up. It will whisper, "You're not good enough. What's the point? You'll fail again." That voice is not your enemy. It's your signal. It means you're pushing against your limits. The people who grow are not the ones who never hear that voice. They're the ones who learn to act in spite of it. Courage doesn't mean you stop feeling fear. Courage means you move forward anyway. Investing in yourself is not a smooth path. It's filled with doubt, setbacks, and silence. You will lose people. You will face rejection. You will question if it's even worth it. But every challenge you face becomes a lesson that compounds your inner value. Each failure adds wisdom. Each obstacle builds resilience. Each comeback writes your story. 5. Building the habit of growth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So, if you want to continuously invest in yourself, you must build a structure that supports growth. Create a daily growth routine. Read 20 pages of a book that challenges your thinking. Write down your thoughts to build self-awareness. Exercise to train discipline, not just muscles. Learn one new skill that aligns with your goals. And most importantly, protect your environment. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, not hold you back. Because energy is contagious. If you stay around complainers, you'll become one. If you stay around builders, you'll start building too. 6. The return on self-investment. Every investment has a return. When you invest money, you get interest. When you invest time, you get experience. But when you invest in yourself, you multiply every part of your life. Your thinking sharpens. Your confidence grows. Opportunities begin to appear that once seemed invisible. You begin to attract people, places, and possibilities that match your new level of energy. That's the secret. The world reflects who you are becoming. You don't chase success, you grow into it. You don't beg for opportunities, you create them by becoming valuable. 7. The pain of staying the same. There is a pain in discipline, but there is a greater pain in regret. When you refuse to grow, you slowly die inside. Your dreams fade. Your potential withers. So if you ever doubt whether the struggle is worth it, remember this. Growth hurts, but stagnation destroys. Every great person you admire, every leader, thinker, or creator, went through a season of isolation, sacrifice, and relentless focus. They invested when no one was watching. They trained when no one believed. And one day, the world couldn't ignore their results. That's what self-investment looks like. The silent work that becomes visible through excellence. 8. Your greatest project is you. You are your own lifelong project. And every day, you decide what kind of masterpiece you're creating. Will you build yourself into someone extraordinary, or let life shape you by accident? When you start seeing yourself as your most important investment, your decisions change. You stop wasting energy on drama, comparison, and shortcuts. You start focusing on building inner wealth, clarity, skill, peace, and purpose. Because when your inner world grows, your outer world expands with it. 9. Closing message. At the end of the day, the most powerful statement you can make is this: I am worth investing in. Because that one belief changes everything. When you invest in yourself, you rise above circumstances. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop waiting for luck and start preparing for opportunity. So start today. Read that book. Take that course. Wake up earlier. Save your energy. Build the version of you that your future will thank you for. Every minute spent growing yourself compounds. Every act of discipline builds your destiny. And one day you'll look back and realize, the best investment you ever made was in you. Chapter 2. Master your mind. Before you can master your life, you must master your mind. Everything you experience, everything you create, every success you ever achieve, begins and ends inside your mind. Your mind is the architect of your destiny. If you don't learn to control it, it will control you. 1. The power within. Most people live their lives as prisoners of their own thoughts. They are trapped inside patterns of doubt, fear, and insecurity that were never truly theirs. They were taught to think small. From childhood, we're conditioned by the voices of others. Don't dream too big. Be realistic. Play it safe. And slowly, without realizing it, we stop using the greatest power we have, the power to think freely. But here's the truth: your thoughts are not reality, they are commands. Every thought you repeat becomes an instruction to your brain, and your brain follows that command. If you think weak thoughts, you live a weak life. If you think disciplined thoughts, you build a disciplined life. Your world is simply a mirror of your mind. So if you want to change your reality, start by changing your thoughts. 2. The inner battlefield. Your mind is both your greatest weapon and your greatest enemy. Every day, there's a silent war happening inside you, between comfort and growth, fear and courage, doubt and faith. The voice of comfort says, stay where you are. Don't risk it. The voice of growth whispers, you're capable of more. The side you feed will win. Mastering your mind doesn't mean silencing fear. It means learning to recognize it and move forward anyway. Fear will always exist. It's a signal, not a stop sign. It tells you you're stepping into something meaningful. So instead of running from fear, lean into it. Use it as a compass that points toward your next level. 3. Awareness, the first step to mastery. You can't change what you don't notice. Most people live on autopilot, reacting, scrolling, repeating. Their thoughts run them like a script they never wrote. But awareness breaks that cycle. When you become aware of your thinking, you step into power. You start to observe your thoughts instead of being ruled by them. This is why journaling, reflection, and meditation are so powerful. They slow down the noise and show you the truth. Ask yourself, what are the thoughts I repeat most often? Do they move me forward or hold me back? Are they mine or someone else's expectations? Your thoughts create your identity, and your identity shapes your actions. So guard your mind as if your future depends on it, because it does. For reprogramming the mind. Your brain is programmable. It learns through repetition and emotion. That means you can retrain your mind, just like you train your muscles. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen a neural pathway. So the more you repeat empowering beliefs, the more natural they become. Say to yourself daily, I am in control of my mind. I focus on what I can control. I am growing every day. Affirmations are not magic, they are direction. They tell your mind where to focus its power. And remember, energy flows where attention goes. Feed your mind with purpose, and it will build purpose. 5. The discipline of focus. In a world full of noise, focus is the ultimate superpower. We live in a time where distraction is easier than ever. Your phone, notifications, endless scrolling, they're designed to capture your attention. But your attention is your most valuable currency. Whatever captures your attention controls your life. So if you want to master your mind, you must master your focus. Start small. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Spend 1 hour a day in deep work. No phone, no distractions. Practice single tasking. Finish what you start. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen your mental muscle. Every time you finish what you start, you teach your brain discipline. And over time, you'll notice something powerful. The noise of the world fades, and the voice of your purpose gets louder. 6. Emotional control, the art of inner strength. A strong mind is not one that feels nothing, it's one that chooses what to feel. Emotional control is not suppression. It's the ability to respond instead of react. When someone disrespects you, you can react with anger or respond with calm. When something fails, you can react with despair or respond with curiosity. The difference between reaction and response is maturity. And that maturity is built through emotional awareness. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What story am I telling myself about this situation? Does this reaction move me closer to the person I want to become? Mastering your emotions doesn't mean being cold. It means being centered. Because emotions are powerful fuel, but only when you're the one driving. 7. The mind-body connection. Your mental state is deeply connected to your physical state. When your body is tired, your mind weakens. When your body is energized, your mind sharpens. That's why exercise, sleep, and nutrition are forms of mental training, not just physical. A disciplined mind lives in a disciplined body. If you want to think clearly, move your body daily. If you want emotional balance, feed your body clean energy. Remember this simple rule. Clarity begins with chemistry. When your body feels good, your mind performs better. So treat your health as a mental investment, because it is. 8. Guarding your mental environment. Just like your body needs clean food, your mind needs clean input. Everything you consume, music, news, conversations, social media, programs your subconscious. If you feed it chaos, you'll live in chaos. If you feed it purpose, you'll live with purpose. So, choose your inputs wisely. Ask yourself, what am I allowing into my mind today? Does it empower me or drain me? Does it make me sharper or slower? Unfollow negativity. Limit toxic conversations. Spend time around people who think bigger. Because your environment is shaping your thoughts, even when you're not aware of it. 9. The silent power of stillness. Sometimes, mastering your mind doesn't mean doing more. It means doing nothing. Silence is where clarity is born. In stillness, your inner voice becomes clear enough to guide you. The problem is, most people are afraid of silence. They fear being alone with their thoughts. So they distract themselves with noise, endlessly running from reflection. But you cannot master your mind if you never meet it. Take 10 minutes a day. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. Breathe. Reflect. Listen. In silence, you'll find truth, and that truth will become your direction. 10. The master's mindset. The highest level of mental mastery is not control, it's alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, you become unstoppable. There's no inner conflict, no wasted energy, just flow. That's when success feels natural. That's when your mind becomes your ally instead of your obstacle. A master doesn't fight their thoughts, they understand them. They don't avoid fear, they use it as fuel. They don't chase happiness, they create meaning. That's the mind of a builder, a warrior, a creator. And you can become one through daily practice. 11. Closing reflection. The greatest victory you will ever win is the battle within your own mind. Because once you conquer that battlefield, every other challenge becomes manageable. So start today. Observe your thoughts. Direct your focus. Guard your energy. Build mental strength one decision at a time. Remember, your outer world will always mirror your inner world. Chapter 3. Build skills, not excuses. In a world that's constantly changing, your greatest security isn't money. It's skill. Money can disappear. Opportunities can vanish. But the person who builds skills can always rebuild their life from nothing. When you invest in developing your abilities, when you decide to master something, you become unstoppable. Because no one can take away what you've learned, what you've earned, or who you've become. 1. Skills are the new currency. Once upon a time, success was about resources, land, money, inheritance. But in the new world, the world we live in today, success belongs to the skilled. The skilled writer can create an income from ideas. The skilled communicator can inspire nations. The skilled programmer, designer, or creator can change their future from a laptop anywhere in the world. You don't need to be born rich, you need to become valuable. And skills create value. Every skill you learn adds a new tool to your arsenal. The more tools you have, the more problems you can solve, and the world rewards problem solvers. 2. The mindset shift, from consumer to creator. Most people are consumers. They spend their time consuming what others have created, videos, entertainment, content. But those who rise in life are the creators. They build. They produce. They bring ideas to life. If you spend your life consuming, you live on someone else's terms. If you spend your life creating, you design your own. The shift begins when you ask yourself, what can I create today? What can I learn that will make me more capable? Every hour you spend learning, practicing, or building something new, that's an hour invested in your future. Because while others waste time escaping reality, you'll be mastering the skills that let you design it. 3. Learning how to learn. Here's the truth. The difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck is not intelligence. It's how they learn. The most successful people in the world are lifelong students. They study not for grades, but for growth. So how do you learn faster and deeper? Be curious. Don't study to impress, study to understand. Ask what again and again. Apply immediately. Don't just collect information. Use it. The moment you apply something, it becomes real. Teach it. If you can explain an idea simply, you've mastered it. Review and reflect. Learning isn't memorizing, it's connecting ideas over time. Treat your mind like a gym. Every time you struggle to learn something, you're building cognitive strength. For the death of excuses. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall that keeps you from your potential. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't know where to start. But the truth is simple. You don't need perfect conditions to begin, you just need commitment. Most people wait for motivation to arrive. Winners create motion, and motivation follows. Do you think great athletes waited to feel ready? Do you think great leaders waited for ideal conditions? They started. They stumbled. They learned. And they kept moving. Excuses keep you comfortable, but they also keep you average. And average doesn't build legacy. So from this day forward, every time your mind says, I can't, respond with, I'll figure it out. That sentence will change your life. 5. Practice, the bridge to mastery. Every skill begins as a seed. The more you practice, the more it grows. But here's the part most people forget. The early stages of growth are invisible. When you're learning, it feels like nothing is happening. You doubt yourself. You compare yourself to others. But underneath the surface, your brain is rewiring, building connections that will soon make the impossible feel easy. That's why you must trust the process. You don't get strong by lifting weights once. You get strong by showing up daily. You don't master a skill by doing it perfectly. You master it by refusing to quit. Every repetition counts. Every failure teaches. Every hour compounds. There are no shortcuts, only consistency. 6. The compound effect of skills. Think of your skills as investments. Each one you acquire compounds with the others. Let's say you're a good communicator. Add marketing, now you can sell ideas. Add leadership, now you can inspire a team. Add discipline, now you can turn your ideas into results. That's the power of skill stacking. One skill may make you good, but a combination of skills makes you rare. And rarity is valuable. Because in a world full of noise, the rare are remembered. 7. Learn from failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the process of success. Every expert you admire once failed miserably, but they treated failure as feedback, not finality. When you fail, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Failure reveals your blind spots. It shows you where to focus, what to fix, and how to grow. So don't fear it, welcome it. Because every time you fail, you're collecting wisdom that others are too afraid to earn. The people who succeed the most are the ones who've failed the most. They simply refuse to stop. 8. Turn learning into earning. Once you've built a skill, turn it into service. The world pays for value, and skills create value. If you can write, design, code, teach, lead, speak, or create, you have something people need. You can use it to help others, solve problems, and make a living doing what you love. In the modern world, there are no limits, only those you accept. You can start a brand, a channel, a business, or a service from your laptop. But it all begins with one step: build something that helps someone. Serve. Add value. Be useful. Because in the end, your income is a reflection of your impact. 9. The habits of mastery. Highly skilled people don't wait for perfect timing, they build systems. Here are a few habits that transform learners into masters. Daily consistency. Even 30 focused minutes a day beats random bursts of effort. Deep work. 1 hour of total focus is worth more than 3 hours of distraction. Feedback loop. Seek constructive criticism. It shortens your learning curve. Growth requires recovery. Don't confuse exhaustion with progress. Long-term vision. Don't chase trends, build timeless skills that compound. Remember, consistency beats intensity. The person who practices a little every day will outperform the one who works hard occasionally. 10. Becoming a student for life. The moment you think you've arrived, your decline begins. The greatest masters never stop learning. They stay humble, curious, and open. That's why success requires a beginner's mindset, always hungry to learn, never too proud to ask questions. Study, listen, observe, experiment. Because the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. True confidence comes from growth, not ego. And growth comes from staying teachable. 11. Closing message. At the end of the day, your future will not be built by luck. It will be built by skill. You don't need to be the smartest or the fastest. You just need to keep improving when others quit. Build skills, not excuses. Because excuses won't pay your bills, they won't build your dream, and they won't earn respect. The skills give you freedom. Skills give you choice. Skills make you unstoppable. So start today. Pick one skill and master it. Then add another. And another. Keep stacking value until you become the kind of person who can create anything from nothing. That's the real power of investing in yourself. That's how you go from survival to mastery. End of Chapter 3. ChatGPT said. Chapter 4. The Power of Habits and Consistency. There is a difference between motivation and consistency. Motivation is like a spark. It can start a fire, but only consistency keeps it burning. Many people wait for motivation before they act, but the truth is, motivation comes after action, not before it. The ones who master themselves understand this simple truth: discipline beats motivation every single time. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They are the small choices you make daily that silently build your future. Every decision compounds. Every habit, whether good or bad, is an investment, either in your growth or in your decay. Let's start with a simple but powerful question. What do you do every single day that moves you closer to your goals? Because success is never built in a single leap. It's built one routine, one habit, one quiet moment of discipline at a time. The power of small actions. When people think about change, they often imagine big, dramatic transformations. But in reality, it's the smallest actions repeated over time that create the most powerful results. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem like much. Meditating for 5 minutes may feel insignificant. But compound that action every day for a year, and you'll have read over a dozen books, built mental clarity, and transformed your mindset. Success doesn't come from intensity, it comes from consistency. The man who walks 1 mile every day will always go farther than the one who runs 10 miles once a month. Consistency compounds. Just as money grows with compound interest, your habits multiply their effect over time. Each day you repeat a good habit, you reinforce your identity, the belief that you are capable, disciplined, and worthy of success. The habit loop. Every habit follows a simple pattern: cue, routine, reward. The cue triggers your brain to start a behavior. The routine is the behavior itself. The reward is what reinforces it. Understanding this loop gives you control. You can replace bad habits by keeping the same cue and reward but changing the routine. For example, if stress triggers you to scroll your phone, cue, you can replace that with deep breathing or a short walk. The cue and reward remain the same, but the behavior changes. This is how transformation starts. Not through force, but through awareness. The myth of willpower. Willpower is overrated. It's not that you need to be stronger or tougher, it's that you need better systems. Discipline doesn't mean fighting temptation every day. It means designing your environment so that good habits are easy and bad habits are hard. If your phone is filled with distractions, you will waste time. If your kitchen is filled with junk food, you will eat poorly. If your schedule is unplanned, you will drift. Structure creates freedom. Systems create success. So ask yourself, what systems are shaping your life right now? Because whether you realize it or not, they are already determining your future. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence is not a gift. It's a byproduct of keeping promises to yourself. Every time you show up when you said you would, even when you don't feel like it, you build trust in yourself. You start to believe in your word. You start to respect yourself. That's the secret behind every disciplined person. They've trained themselves to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. They don't rely on mood, they rely on mission. Every act of consistency plants a seed of confidence. And with time, those seeds grow into unshakable belief. The law of momentum. Momentum is built in silence. It begins when you start showing up, day after day, quietly with no applause. At first, progress feels invisible. Nothing seems to change. But underneath the surface, your foundation is being built. Then one day, it becomes visible. People start to notice. They call you lucky or talented. But they didn't see the years of repetition, the lonely nights, the days when you didn't quit. That's momentum. And once it's on your side, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency in every area. Consistency isn't just about fitness or work, it's about the person you're becoming. Consistency in how you speak to others builds trust. Consistency in how you treat yourself builds self-worth. Consistency in learning builds wisdom. The goal is not perfection. It's progress. Even when you fail, if you get back up the next day, you win. Because every time you begin again, you strengthen the habit of resilience. The power of identity. To change your life, change your identity. Don't just say, I want to work out. Say, I am someone who trains every day. Don't say, I want to read more. Say, I am a reader. Habits that align with your identity become effortless. When you believe that something is part of who you are, you no longer have to force it, you simply live it. So, who do you want to become? That's the real question of self-investment. Final thought. Your habits are your real wealth. They determine your health, your peace, your growth, and your future. Forget perfection. Just start and stay consistent. Because the one who moves slowly but never stops will always outrun the one who runs fast but quits early. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's quiet. It's steady. It's powerful. And one day, the world will see what your discipline has built in silence.